Hey everybody, this is Cherokee Edwards from Cherokee Edwards Inspires, where we're going to have shows here to talk about life, to talk about what makes your life special, what makes it better, and everybody working together, because together everyone achieves more. Acronym for the word team. Stay tuned and let's get it on. Welcome everybody to the Cherokee Edwards Inspires, yet another edition, and I have the pleasure of introducing yet another friend of mine by the name of Liz Daley, and she is the owner of Daley Events as well as Williamsburg Pilates. Welcome, Liz. How are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm feeling a little stir crazy, as I think everybody is right now, but as they say, we are safe at home, not forced to be home. We are safe at home. So yes. That is accurate. But it's weird when you think about, do I really need to go out?
Right, today? Right. You know, it's interesting. And Steve and I talk about this all the time because, you know, my wife being my queen, you being his queen. And we have such a friendship, too, that I think is imperative right now because everybody's so confined that you at least like who you're going to be confined with, or we're going to have a little bit of a problem.
Perhaps.
Yeah. I see, you know, you just say, okay, first 2 days, we're okay. Hey, after a week, hold up now. I got to take a walk, you know, but it's something. And like I said, it brings people closer and spending time. You know, I know that you and your husband work well together as me and my wife work well together. And for decades, it's been something, you know, you got to be best friends. You got to be that connection. And even in this trying time, it's got to be something where you say, you know what, I'm just blessed to be safe with you. And I think that's what, you know, what you were saying earlier.
Absolutely. And it is a good thing that we can still entertain each other.
Yes. As eyewitness and audience, you couldn't hear it, but off air was really good. But you guys aren't privy to that kind of stuff. That's the outtakes, and that'll never be aired. So Liz, let's just jump in. Let's jump in here. Tell the audience a little bit about yourself and your background.
Well, I was a dancer in my earliest life and was into theater. So my first professional entertaining job was at 16 years old. A real paycheck. I was paid as an artist.
Wow.
And that was my first career until I was, and we're not going to say all the years because then they'll know how old I am. And so we want to avoid that. Let's just say for a long time, I made my living as an actor, ending up in New York City and making money as an actor, a very paltry amount of money, but I was making money as an actor because they don't pay actors.
Right.
They, unless you're a big star.
Right.
But I made my living at it. And then when I had not reached the pinnacle that I thought I might have, and the auditions got to be a little pain in the butt, then I was like, okay, what else am I going to do?
Right.
I can't speak. What else am I going to do? And my husband and I are like, do we want to leave New York? And we're like, yeah, okay. Where do you want to go? And we were either going to go to Denver or we were going to come to the East Coast further down in Virginia from New York City.
Right.
And we ultimately ended up deciding on Virginia because we figured we could get back into New York City more easily to drive as opposed to going to Denver,
right,
which is where most of his family still lives.
Right. Okay. So Liz Daley Events, how was it born?
It was born going back to my New York days. I worked as an interactive dancer for a great big company, wearing really ridiculous costumes and interacting with guests to get them up on the dance floor, kind of like a Club Med type thing.
Oh yeah.
Hands up, baby, hands up. Yeah. So and handing out glow sticks and things to nasty 13-year-olds. And so I had been in that business for for as a dancer, and then I started managing events, selling events, and then just designing the whole event. And so when I moved down here, it was just the natural progression that I would hang out my own shingle and become an entertainment company, because I had that knowledge from one of my kind of support jobs.
Right.
So I didn't know I was learning how to do it, but I was.
Right.
So that's how it began, because, one of the things I noticed around Williamsburg is a lot of jobs, like what I would call normal people jobs, don't pay very well. And they want you to work really, really, really hard.
Yes.
And not pay you at all.
Right. Right.
And so, I'm not afraid of hard work.
Right.
But I'm not going to work that hard to not get paid for it.
You mean you don't want to work for free?
No, I don't. And so that was when I discovered that. I was like, yeah, well, I guess I'll open my own company, because then all the hard work you get to reap the rewards for that hard work.
Yes. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So and you have a plethora of things and skills that you bring to the table, as far as the weddings, anniversaries, birthdays, celebrations, shows. Are there any things that you do that stand out above the others, like that you would want the audience to know about?
Interesting, because with all this downtime, I've been working on my website. And, one of the things that you need to put out there is, what makes you different, because a monkey can push a play button and drunk people will dance.
Right.
This, you play a really popular song.
Right.
What a surprise. I'm going to play Uptown Funk by Bruno Mars.
Right.
And imagine my surprise when the dance floor filled up.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
Shock and awe.
Yeah. So what I do differently, I do know the music that makes people happy.
Mm-hmm.
And I know the order, because you can go with Spotify now, it's like, hey, I want a disco playlist. Boom.
Right.
But it may not be in the best order.
Right.
To keep the party going.
Right.
So one of the things is knowing what to play when. I may know the best 50 songs, because every decade's got about 50 really good songs.
Right.
And everybody they can find that out.
Right.
With the internet.
Right. But
knowing when and in what order to play those songs, and how to jump back and forth, genre jump,
Right.
How do you get from hard rock to country to current stuff?
Right.
How do you do that?
Right.
And make it seem effortless. So that is a skill set I have, because I know all that music.
Right. That's
a technical thing.
Yes.
Because a lot of people just don't know the music. They just don't.
Right.
And the other thing that I bring to the table that I think makes me so different from almost all my competitors is that I actually care. And that seems like a little thing, but it's a monster thing.
That's huge.
I care as much, if not more, about the outcome of their wedding.
Right.
And a lot of people, it's like a paycheck.
Right.
And one of the best descriptions that I've ever had, or how I've described it to other people, many other DJs are looking to hit that. They want a one-night stand.
Right.
Give me your money and let me just come in, do the bare minimum, play some music, get out.
Right.
Whereas I'm looking for a marriage. I'm looking for a relationship.
Exactly.
So that's really, that's what makes me different, is the fact that I actually want to be involved with them, not just on the wedding night.
Right.
I'm not actually in the room, but.
You're not? Wow. Wait a minute. I had a thought there. That was pretty cool. Just messed up my whole charade there.
Yeah. So from when they first hire me to, and my husband is just watching me and making me feel weird.
look him right in the face and just say, yes, this is what I do.
One of the, see, it made me lose my train of thought.
We were talking about your relationship beyond just the honeymoon night, the anniversary,
See, there you go again. It's not the honeymoon night. It's the reception before.
Yes. There I go again.
But one of get it quite often is, oh, how long have you been a friend of the bride and groom?
Mm-hmm.
Like, well, from when they reached out and asked me if I could help them with their wedding. Really? They assume that I was a family friend that stepped up.
Right. Right.
Because I couldn't possibly represent them so well if I was just hired.
Liz, you told me a story a long time ago when we all went out, and it stuck with me. You were talking about a time where you were at a wedding and you were playing music that everybody was just like, how does she know this? How did this song meant this to this person? And everyone, started, you basically puppet mastered the entire audience. You remember that story you told me about?
I don't know if I have lots of stories. Give me more information.
Okay, that one set out at me because as you were talking about it, we were talking about possibly working together with the wedding and having you come and MC and DJ, and you just started telling me this story, and it was a couple where you knew songs that they met on, you knew songs that meant something to them, and I guess you interviewed them individually. It almost sounded like you talked to someone that knew them or them themselves, and you knew certain songs to play, and they were like, "Oh my God, how did she know? How did she know?"
Well, certainly I do that. I mean, that's part of the process. I'm going to ask them what are some of their favorite songs.
Right.
But then sometimes you just get gold from heaven.
Yeah.
This may have been the story. I was at a wedding. This was many years ago, and it was at Colonial Williamsburg. And the maid of honor was the bride's sister. And she kept going on and on and on about how they loved the movie Dirty Dancing. And they just... That's it. This is it. They would watch it every single night and just loved it. And so at that point, we had not determined a closing song. Right. And so, again, not rocket science. Right. I listened for 10 minutes during the toast that they love this movie. And so I just happened to think that maybe playing Time of My Life would be a good song to close with. And imagine my surprise when the bride was singing along. Yes. Looking into her husband's eyes. And wow. When we were saying goodnight, she's like, how did you know? That's it. This is it. How did you know to play that song? Oh. I was paying attention. Yeah. And I heard your sister told me that you loved this movie. I got goosebumps then, and I'm getting them now again. We're listening to it. So, she because I was paying attention, it was, like taking candy from a baby. It's like, well, duh, of course this would be a perfect song. Right. And lots of times that will happen if you just look around. Yeah. There was one other time, and again, this might be, profiling people, but it does work, especially when you're choosing music. And I was at a wedding at a place that actually recently I got sold. It was at Warner Hall, and the table closest to my DJ booth, the guy with his back to me had beautiful long dreads. Mm-hmm. Okay, beautiful, like down his back. Right. And so I was playing some stuff, and I happened to notice that they were moving a little bit, and I was like, so I decided to play some Bob Marley. Oh. I'm not sure why. I saw dreads, so I'm like, okay. And him and a couple of the guys had longer hair with dreads as well, but one guy, he just wrapped her, and he turned around. He was like, yeah. and he was just, and then they were all table dancing. Yes. This was in the middle of dinner. It was dinner time. Wow. And he's waving his arms, and the whole table's waving their arms, because I noticed his hairstyle. Yeah. And took a shot in the dark that was correct. Attention to detail. So, and little things. It's like if I see my good old country boys, I'm going to know if I pull out some dust off some country, they're going to love it. Oh, yeah. And they'll sing along. That's right. Throw a little of that Tim McGraw in there. It's a rap. Oh, yeah. No, you have a bunch of country boys, and then they're drunk, and you start playing Sweet Home Alabama. Oh, my goodness. They're happy. Or you you start dropping Garth Brooks, Friends in Low Places,
Oh, yes.
after they're about 5 or 6 beers in, they will sing like sitting in church on Sunday. They are so happy.
Put the show on.
Yeah, so it's
amazing.
It's paying attention to what's going to make people happy musically, because music creates memories.
Exactly. I agree.
So,
well, we're going to take a moment for station identification from our sponsors, and we'll be right back with Miss Liz Daley.
If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you, so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started.
Okay, Liz. Well, we're back, and we talked about the events, and I love hearing your stories about how you do things, because you could feel your passion when you tell these stories. So let's shift a little bit, and let's talk about your two-parted. So I'm going to talk about the other part of you now, the Pilates, Williamsburg Pilates, and I know that you are an actual Pilates instructor. So
yes,
tell us a little bit. First of all, how'd you get into that? How did that come about?
Well, as again, the whole life weaves in and out.
Right.
Life weaves in and I was a dancer first.
Right.
Okay. And Pilates was designed by Joseph Pilates. It was first Controlology was what he called it, but it then became named after him.
Right.
But it was designed for dancers in New York to heal after injuries. Well, that was the second thing it did, but it was first to design injured men in war.
Right.
But then he designed it to help dancers recover.
Right.
And so because it was an exercise that was dancer based, I quickly gravitated to it. So when I moved down to Williamsburg, I found a studio and I'm like, okay, so I did it. And I've been doing it now for 17 years. It was right when I moved down here.
Wow.
And just about a year ago was when I actually opened up my studio.
Wow. Amazing.
After being a practitioner for 16 years.
Right. Wow. So tell me a little bit about the client base that you have in the Pilates studio. How many do you have a consistent client base there, or do you take walk-ins? How does that work out?
Well, Pilates is something that you can't just walk in and do it immediately, easily.
Right.
It's like an ogre. Ogres are like onions and they have layers. So that's my Shrek reference. So
right.
Pilates is like an onion.
The beautiful
it has many
ogre.
layers. And so if I really tried to give people all the things they should be thinking about,
right,
they would walk out the door and cry and not come back.
Right.
So you have to start people and give them, the easier exercises.
Right.
Help them, get from level 1 to level 2.
Beginners classes.
It's also, it is a relationship. It's a process, much like the wedding business. You can't just use not a one-off.
Right.
Whereas traditional personal training, okay, well, they can pick up 10-pound little dumbbells and somebody can do pretty correctly the first time out. They can do a curl.
Yes.
They can do a bicep curl.
Right.
And short of, there's different ways and styles, quick, heavier weights, there's different things, but
right.
a bicep curl is a bicep curl.
Right.
And you're probably going to do it correctly.
Right.
Unless you're a total imbecile and thank God it's not, but Pilates is not like that. You have to really work hard because it's like yoga. It's an intellectual exercise. It's a emotional exercise. You're centering in your body. So it's mind and body connection.
Right.
And that is one thing that makes it quite different. I do have all the reformers, which are the machines that people can be on. And as I have been trying to help my clients now during the coronavirus, trying to give them things to do at home. I'm like, well, you could do this, but now gravity's going to be involved because you don't have the reformer that they can lay on their back.
Right.
And they're pushing out and doing what would be equivalent to like a squat.
Right.
But it's not all of your body weight.
Right.
You're laying on your back. And so I can control how much body weight. So if somebody has had a knee surgery, they maybe can't put 150 pounds, 200 pounds on that knee.
Right.
So I can make it so there's maybe 30 pounds on that knee, but they're still working all the muscles.
Right. Exactly.
And so as they heal from whatever injury or surgery, we can build them back up to normal, but still not being aggressive to the joints and to the muscles in a way that traditional exercises are done. Not that they're bad. I mean,
right.
Maybe if you're 75 years old, you can't go into a deep squat anymore because it hurts.
Right.
And so, but they can on the reformer.
Right.
But they can't do it against gravity anymore.
Exactly.
So it is a commitment. It's a relationship. Most of my clients come twice a week,
mm-hmm.
and a few people come once a week, but they're generally folks who are more active doing other things. So they just want Pilates as one day.
Right.
But my core group come twice, and they are strong and healthy and agile because of this work. But it's a progression. Right. And they get stronger and stronger, and it's good stuff. And like I think about, again, because I am trying to give people stuff to do at home, and there's Pilates mat, which most of your YMCAs or your rec centers. Oh, we had Pilates, on the floor. Right. I looked at the cat, like, okay, so you have dumbbells and you're on a mat, like a yoga mat, and the exercises that you can do on the mat, there's either the ones that are really easy, that are kind of like stretching, right, or they are hard. Yes. They're harder to do on the floor than on the reformer. Right. I looked at, I'm like, well, I can't do that. I can't expect a 75-year-old woman to do that. I can't do it. Not on a bed. And so, that's a lot of people, I take Pilates, I don't like it. It's like, well, then you probably had a bad teacher. Mm-hmm. Or you went in, you weren't being watched, and you got hurt. Right. So I only have a maximum of 5 people in my group classes, so I can watch them all and make sure they don't hurt themselves. Right. Because I don't know if you've seen it, but there's a video of a woman getting into a reformer at a gym, and like their surveillance cameras caught it, and she got in there and she put her feet in the straps, and she did a backwards roll out of it because she didn't know how to use it. And there was no one there teaching her, but they had this reformer in the middle of the gym. And she got in and totally wiped out. I didn't see that. It's really kind of sad, but funny at the same time. Oh, good. Yeah. So, and when, I take courses to make me a better teacher, it's like when you first put people in the straps, you put your hand up to stop them from doing that. Because they will. Yeah. Yes. I can see it happening. And so you think to yourself, I've rescued a few people, they start going like, I'm grabbing them. It's like, no, that's not, my rule is no falling off the equipment. Right. So, lots of paperwork, and then you got to call the ambulance. Oh my God. Blood, So, Who was that? Who was that? Let's not do that. So that's the Pilates studio. Okay. So all right. Now I know that you're passionate about everything you do, and I know you, so I know that that's how you are. But to the audience that doesn't know you, what would you say as far as if for them to hire you? You look for things. I know that you look for things. It's almost like on an interview process, you look for a fit. Am I right? When you're looking at doing a wedding, you actually want to meet, people and see, right? And I remember you telling me something, like you said, it's a relationship building process. What are the distances that you travel? And as far as the ideal client for you, let's talk about the I know what happens with the Pilates, but as far as the wedding planning. Well, DJing. As long as someone's willing to get me there, I will travel there. The furthest I've traveled, two of the long distance, a couple saw me do a wedding in Richmond, and they asked me if I would come up to Connecticut, and I said yes. And they paid for my travel. They paid for me to get up there, hotel, everything.
Okay.
Another wedding, it wasn't mine. I was the second. I was an assistant on it, but I was flown to Arizona to do a wedding out there.
Okay.
So the answer is if you want me there, I'll go.
As long as your money's right, you
get me there.
That's right.
Then I will.
Now,
one time.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
One time you were talking about, yes, I'm interviewing my clients just like they're interviewing me.
That's right.
And if it's not important to them to see what I'm about, then they're probably not a good fit for me.
Right.
One time I took a meeting and I sat down with this couple. And in less than 3 minutes, I knew it was not a good fit because everything out of the gentleman's mouth was, well, music this, music that, and pretty much wanted a breathing iPod and established that right up front. I have no respect for what you do for a living. It's just this. It's just this. And I was like, okay.
You say this is not working. Yeah.
And I was like, so I let him just, tell me how unimportant my job was.
Right.
And then he told me about the physical location they were going to be. And it was this awful, it was like a maze underneath a pyramid. It was like, okay, well, there's this little ante room and then this long hallway and another ante room. And it's like, so nobody would be in one place. So like the physical description, I'm like, oh dear God, that sounds awful. And he thought it was brilliant.
Wow.
And, so I knew in like 2 minutes.
Right.
And so then I was like, in my head, I'm going, so do I just throw out a really obnoxious number so he'll just go away? Which I did. I don't know that I'm going to be the best fit for what you're looking for. And you might be happier getting a couple of iPods and running some speakers. And that might be the most economical thing for you.
Wow.
And he agreed.
Yeah.
And we shook hands and I walked away. He was happy. Everybody was happy, but that was not my client.
Right. That's not your ideal client. Liz, tell us about your ideal client. Cause you segue right into that. That was going to be my next question. What do you look for? Yeah, that's right. We're vibing. We are vibing, girl.
My ideal client is someone who wants to have fun. If I ask them what they want on their wedding day and one of the first words out of their mouth is fun, I can help them with that.
That's right.
I want creative people who want to think outside the box, who want their wedding to be something different. Because no wedding I've ever done is the same, nor do I want it to be.
Right.
Because they're different human beings, and so I'm going to react differently to them and their crowd.
Right. And
build it based upon what they imagine.
Right.
That's again, fun-loving, have crazy friends that so they are connected to their bridal party. They're not just. It isn't just about the pretty for them.
Right.
It's like we can make it look pretty, but one thing. It's like someone could spend $10,000 on flowers and gorgeous.
Right.
Okay, so how much enjoyment of the evening do you get from that $10,000 investment in flowers? They walk in and they go, ooh, pretty.
Right. And they don't see them again until they leave.
But that's like it. So
right.
They walk in or they'll go, oh my God.
Right.
But then, I've seen some lightscapes that you're like, oh my God, this is amazing.
Right.
But that lasts for seconds.
Yeah.
It does make it pretty the whole night.
Yeah.
And it is gorgeous.
Yeah.
But it's not, other than going, those are really pretty lights. But if you have, 5 hours of time and I get to create the soundtrack for 5 hours, it puts memories in people's heads.
Yeah. That's where the magic happens, isn't it?
And they're going to go, oh my God, I remember. And picking the perfect tune for the perfect moment. And it's a shared experience that all these people will go, oh my God, I remember that. I remember that. So you're giving people memories, joyous memories that will last a lifetime in a shared experience.
Right.
And so it's, I get to do that. And it's not a 1 minute, ooh, that's pretty.
Right.
It's a minute here, it's a minute there, it's a minute, it goes the whole night. And then going back to the puppet master.
Right.
And I hate to use that because it isn't really that. It is, but it isn't.
Right.
Because there can be a negative connotation to that. But it's like you're getting people out of their own way,
right,
so that they can enjoy.
Right.
Because people want a little bit of structure.
Right. So Liz,
but they need it out of the way.
So tell everybody before we wrap it up how to reach out to you.
I'm very easily stalkable on the internet. If you type Liz Daley DJ,
mm-hmm.
I will pop up. There's only one other person who is a snowboarder who will come up. Or you can call me at 757-566-4530. Or if you don't like to talk to people on the phone, you can text me at 917-653-3750.
Okay. And one more time, Liz, give us the website and everything again. Give us that.
Okay. Website, Liz Daley, D as in dog, ALEY, events.com. And that's plural with an S.
Okay. Now, before
Williamsburg.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
And Williamsburg Pilates Studio.com.
There we go. Williamsburg Pilates Studio.com. All right. So everybody, all listeners, you've heard it. This is what you want. You personalized service from somebody who cares, because sometimes it's not just about being a part of an assembly line. It's about somebody that wants to make sure that you get the time and the attention that you deserve. And I can definitely tell you that Liz is that type of person. And I wouldn't have her on here if she wasn't. And I definitely want you to reach out to her and see what you can do, whether it's on the event side or the Pilates side. Ladies and gentlemen, Pilates is for everyone. So just so you know, I mean, and Liz, before you go, is there an age difference? I even see young people doing it. Is there an age difference that you see as popular?
Well, you know what? It is good for every age. And I think because we have a large group of retirees in Williamsburg, that's what I'm seeing.
Mm-hmm.
People 55 plus.
Mm-hmm.
But I think in bigger cities like New York City, you're going to have plenty of people in their 20s doing it.
Okay.
They probably don't need as much supervision because they're still healthy and strong and haven't broken anything yet. Just you wait.
That's right. It's coming for all of us.
Yeah. So I think it's for everybody. I just, with our population in little old Williamsburg, that's just who I end up having and who I end up helping.
Okay.
And they make my life so happy and so joyous because they're just really fun people. So
okay, well, I tell you what, this is definitely was too short of an interview, so we're going to have you on here again at some point to chop it up. And I thank you so much for taking the time out to get on here with me and entertain and educate us on the entertainment portion and the Pilates portion. Thank you so much.
It's my pleasure. And it gave me something to do on a Saturday.
Yes. Hey, who said you can't have a meeting on a Saturday?
No wedding tonight. No wedding tonight.
Okay.
No gatherings over 100 people. Actually 10 now. So.
Well, yeah. Wow. All right. Well, you know what? Thank you again. God bless. And everybody, just stay tuned for the next episode. And we were here with Liz Daley of Daley Events, as well as Williamsburg Pilates. Thanks again, darling. Mwah. Love you.
Bye.
All right.
Love you too. Bye.
Bye-bye.